Russians are excited. A lot of net to work with there, and he makes no mistake.
In shoots, as Karloff save. In tight and up top. Their first win against the United States since 2016.
Edmonton, Alberta, night 5 of the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship. Canada and the U.S. with runaway victories today. Russia will try to do the same tonight against Austria. Probably not the best night for the Austrians to get the Russians after they lost to their arch rivals and likely want to take it out on someone. As we say hello, Canada, welcome to a primetime edition of the World Juniors on TSN. James Duffy and Bob McKenzie for Russia versus Austria to complete our triple header today from the bubble in Edmonton. 13 games into this tournament, there's only really been one real upset, and that was the Czech Republic beating the Russians 2-0. But here's the deal. The Russians still control their fate. They win this game, and then their last game against Sweden, they will win Group B. To get you ready for it, Gord Miller and Ray Ferraro.
Russia's trying to regroup after a 2-0 loss to the Czechs, and will look right to 19-year-old players.
Pretty disappointing effort against the Czechs. They carried a lot of the play, yet they really didn't get to the inside. They didn't push the play. And so Igor Larionov and the Russians are going to look to their captain in particular, Vasily Podkolzin, the Vancouver Canucks draft pick, who they drafted at number 10. Had an excellent tournament last year on Ostrava. Really just hasn't gotten off the mark. I mean, he's been okay, but he's been on the outside a lot. Where Podkolzin is really at his best is when he has the puck down low towards the net, where he can make some passes, then get himself to the front of the net. He hasn't really had that. So I look for a more direct game from Podkolzin and the Russians against the Austrian team that'll be overmatched.
Russia's 3-0 all-time against Austria. Last meeting in 2010, the Russians won it 6-1.
We here on the panel, we are not cold-hearted. We're cold. It's freezing in here, but we are not cold-hearted. We're sympathetic. We felt bad for the Germans and their situation early in this tournament. And you have to feel for Marco Rossi, who has a good chance to make the Minnesota Wild as soon as this tournament is over, their first rounder. But right now, and he'll go to the Wild and have some good line mates and teammates. On this team, he looks around and goes, I have no help.
This man is an island. I don't think Austria has ever been known as an island nation, but it feels like Marco Rossi is on an island because he is an elite junior age hockey player, top 10 pick to the Minnesota Wild, number 9 overall. This is a player who's got a chance to be in their opening day lineup in the return to play that starts January 13th. Led the Ontario Hockey League in scoring last year. And this is his last year of junior eligibility. And yet here he is on a team that, quite frankly, it's of the 10 teams that are here, it's the worst team, and not by a little bit. And they've only had 16 shots on goal in their first 2 games and not scored goals. And so it's really tough for a guy like Rossi because we know how good he is, and then you watch the game and he basically spends, like the rest of his teammates, chasing the puck around the ice because the other team has it.
Russia and Austria are tied in one category in this tournament. They both have 0 goals on the power play. The only 2 teams in the tournament without one. I'm going to bet that Russia ends that tonight.
The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Esso. The Esso brand has fueled Canada's love of hockey for over 80 years. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. By TELUS, helping build stronger communities on and off the ice. When we give back together, we're all connected for good. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Team Canada. The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Find new reasons to cheer. Find new roads.
Back here in Edmonton for the nightcap, here on day 5 of the 2021 World Junior Championship. Austria takes on Russia. Austria is 0-2. The Russians are 1-1. The officials for tonight's game: Adam Blosky from Saskatoon is one of the referees. Mark Pierce from North Vancouver is the other. The linesmen are Dion Foster from Edmonton and Jonathan Deschamps from Trois-Rivières, Quebec. Starting in goal for the Russians is 19-year-old Artur Akyamov, a fourth-round pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs, who plays for AK Bars Kazan in the KHL. He's also played in their junior league and their second league. Jacob Brandner, the 19-year-old, gets the start for the Austrians. He allowed 1 goal on 5 shots in relief against the United States. Igor Larionov, the 60-year-old, is the first-time head coach of the Russian national junior team, while Roger Bader has coached the men's national team the last 3 years for Austria. And Russia tries to get it back on the rails.
Hold up here, gentlemen. All right, have a good one.
And here we go. First time these teams met was in the 1981 tournament in West Germany. The then Soviet Union beat them 19-1. Hamadulin back for Chichakov. A couple of lineup changes for Igor Larionov's Russian team. Daniil Cheka is a scratch, along with Vladislav Firstov. So Mikhail Abramov, a Toronto fourth-round pick, draws in, and defenseman Igor Shahovtsov is in as well.
You'll notice Shahovtsov, he's the only right-handed guy on the team.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing. The entire roster is left-handed except for Shahovtsov.
Pivoting back in the corner is Timo Pollak. And now brought in across the line. And a quick shot there for Hochegger. And that's stopped by Akyamov. And we welcome to our virtual fan club fans from Austria, a great sporting nation with the oldest flag in the world.
Aren't you full of knowledge?
Well, I figured I better get some stuff ready for tonight, to be honest with you. Yeah, that flag's been around since the 12th century. Bashkirov chips it out, now brings it ahead for the Russians. In comes Bashkirov. Bashkirov, first-time Russian international. Kanayev plays it back across. Bashkirov is poke check. And it's knocked back to center ice. Austria lost 4-0 to Sweden after being beaten 11-0 by the United States. They qualified out of Division 1A last year. Their starting goaltender, who was brilliant in that tournament, aged out, as did their top scorer, Benjamin Baumgartner.
And the best forward in the tournament. I mean, that's the most difficult thing, isn't it, for the qualifying nations, is you don't get to the tournament with the same players that qualified.
Right. Austria's last appearance was in 2010. They were relegated. They've been relegated every time they've been to the tournament. That won't happen this year. There is no relegation because there was no promotion tournament held. And off the hop, that quick shot kicked out by Brandner.
Really good stop for Brandner.
Plays in the Finnish third league for Titanit.
A deflection about 20 feet out in front of the net, and Brandner's moving way to his right, his catching hand, and he has to flash back with the leg. Really nice tip here in front of the net by Ponomarev, who had 2 goals in the opener.
The Austrians rather bring 6 players back from last year's Division 1A winning team. And they came out of a tough Division 1A, a surprising win for them. Shahovtsov, long wrist shot, that bounces around. There have been talks in recent years, Ray, about changing that to try to have the promotion tournament the same year as the actual tournament, but logistically it's very difficult to do.
I mean, from first blush, it's the only thing that makes sense, that the players that qualify are the players that play in the tournament. But of course, the only time you can have that would be in the summer.
Quick chance for Marco Rossi there, the first-round pick of the Minnesota Wild in the 2020 draft, 9th overall. There's the captain C for the Austrians. Kuznetsov chips it back to center ice, and that's knocked down by Linder. Rossi centers it and looks for his own rebound, but Akyamov's got it.
You mentioned Marco Rossi, the 9th pick in the draft by Minnesota last year. Strong two-way centerman, the top scorer in the CHL last year. Played for Andre Tourné in Ottawa. He gets quickly onto that loose puck, the backhand, forces Akyamovov to make a stop, and then here he goes to the front of the net again on the backhand. A chance to works towards the front of the net.
He was picked in the 2020 draft. He's a late birthday, a late September born in 2001, so he's not eligible to return next year as a 2001 born player. As you mentioned, a giant year last year for the Ottawa 67. Ritsu, rink wide he goes for Chinahov. Gets a step, Chinahov works in and hooked it wide.
Oh, we might have our first penalty shot, Gord.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, Chinahov is injured here. He crashed into the boards.
And it will be a penalty shot that is called by referee Adam Blosky.
The next question is whether Chinahov is going to be able to take it. Down to our left, he's crashed into the boards, and if he went in feet first,
penalty shot.
there's always a danger there. So here's the infraction. Oh, yeah.
Pfeffer took him to,
Oh, boy. Not so certain he's going to be even able to continue here. He's on 1 foot, hopped over the bench. And he will not take the shot. It will be Rodion Amirov.
Toronto first-round pick. Amirov works in, score! So on the penalty shot, Russia takes a 1-0 lead.
When this Russian team played in the Karjala Cup, it was all this young group of players playing against older senior league players, and Amirov had a terrific tournament. 3 goals in 3 games. Here he makes one little fake and a pretty subtle move to his forehand, and that moves the puck enough that Bradner can't keep up to it. Amirov, whose head stays up to see the entire play in front of him, easily beats the goaltender, and it's 1-0 Russia.
Amirov scored 3 goals in 3 games in that Karjala Cup, which is the tournament in Finland. The Russians played against Czech, Finnish, and Swedish teams, all men's teams, as you say, Ray. And Larionov lobbied hard for his Russian junior team to go to that tournament and play. Bosch trying to kick it ahead. Wallner brings it back across, and Bohm sends it down for the Austrians. Here is Stefanov with it. Ilya Stefanov up ahead, and spanked back out. As mentioned, the Russians are coming off a loss to the Czechs, in which they just had a hard time getting going.
And they were stuck in the mud for a lot, and they played into that. The trap that the Czechs were playing, they just carried the puck and held the puck and stayed around the outside and really didn't create much problem for Lucas Parik and the Czechs. The Czechs blocked a boatload of shots.
Zanov plays it back. Kanayev plays it right back around. The Russians will close out the preliminary round tomorrow night against Sweden. That shot potted up the end boards by Kanayev.
The Swedes will play on back-to-back nights to end the preliminary round. Their undefeated streak still intact with now 54 games.
Kanayev plays it down to Groshev. Ponomarev centers it, and a jam play in front. And Bartikov thought he'd scored, but The referee says that Brandner kept it out.
Brandner barely able to keep this puck in front of the goal line. Really good work as Bardakov sets up shop in front of the net. He's behind the defense, and he takes 2 whacks at it. The second one pushes it towards the goal line, but is kept out by Josef Bradner.
Holler moves it along the boards. Flips it back down the Russian zone where Chistyakov picks it up. Semyon Chistyakov leads the Russians in time on ice at just over 23 minutes a game. He's a Nashville 4th-round pick. Chistyakov lays it back across. Podkolzin walks in. That's the way Podkolzin shoots, scores! And the captain strikes with his first of this World Junior, and it's 2-0 Russia.
Well, that'll make Podkolzin feel a lot better. On the board for the first time in this tournament. He rips that shot over the blocker of Brandner. The Russians control the puck, and Podkolzin has come all the way to the top of the circles. What's different, Gord, from there against the Czechs, they used this high forward coming out by the blue line against the Czechs. The difference was that forward shot from out by the blue line. Now Podkolzin walks in almost to the dots and rips this over Bradner's shoulder. That's a terrific release by the captain, Podkolzin, in his 3rd tournament.
Podkolzin's played 24 games this year for SKA St. Petersburg in the KHL. Got 2 goals and 6 points. He had 2 goals in 30 games played in the KHL last year. Kuznetsov a shot pounded wide, but again, that's a teenager playing against men. Kuznetsov around the beach count. That long shot went wide. Kuznetsov steps up. And the Austrians can't clear it out. Gritsev works it. He fires. Brandner the save. That's picked up by Harnish. Brought back the other way by Lucas Toller. He flips that down. Akyamov steered that away. Hochegger trying to dig it free. Kirsanov has it back. Vollmer ties him up. Vollmer gets loose. Throws it back in front. And Akyamov has that. Amirov on the penalty shot. Podkolzin from the slot, and it's 2-0 Russia. Time now for Gear Up with Skip the Dishes. Well, here's the thing. At the Sutton Place Hotel, where we're staying, you have to take the bus to the rink. It's only a few blocks, but you can't walk because you're in a bubble. So Graham Horn, one of our bus drivers, has been exceptional this tournament. Back and forth he goes all day. A ray of sunshine throughout this whole thing. Skip the Dishes, the official food delivery app of Hockey Canada. And the bubble has been very tightly kept. Kanayaza feeds it across. Stefanov works in, tries to center it, gets it right back. Here's Stefanov with it. Koshkirov plays it across. Kirsanov. Down to Kanayaza. Kanayaza drops it back, and a sharp angle shot taken there by Stefanov is knocked away by Brandner. By the way, Chernohov has gone to the Russian dressing room now, after being tripped earlier. That led to the penalty shot goal by Amirov. Chistyakov for Ponomaryov. In for Bardakov, shoots it, ramps off the stick of Pfeffer over the glass and out of play. Zahar Bardakov scored against the United States in that 5-3 opening win for the Russians.
This line's been pretty good for Russia. They play hard. They're not a fancy line. Groshev, who's a Tampa pick, is a heavy player on the wing, and Ponomaryov has had a really good tournament in the middle of the ice.
Chistyakov, a hard shot. He ripped that wide. You've liked him, Ray, Chistyakov, for the Russians.
I really like him. I like them. I like watching the way that the puck gets on his stick, it's off his stick. He doesn't let it linger around. The play goes up the ice, and I mean, your forwards then are engaged all the time. They're not waiting around. The puck comes and up it goes.
There is Vasily Ponomarev, a Carolina second-round pick, scored twice against the United States, played for Shawinigan this year in the Quebec League, that 5 goals in 9 games.
Carolina's got a couple of players here. Noel Gunler, the Swedish forward, a second-round pick as well, has just got an absolute rocket.
Bar down.
He's not shooting in the bottom of the net. And so, Carolina's had some really good prospects in this tournament. They got a couple more here.
Now Linder moves in. His shot was blocked. The rebound. Amadula got in the way of that. Now a race for it. That's moved out by Netsaseni. Peters moves in and shoots. And Akyamov makes the glove save.
We're talking about those picks, and earlier we were talking in the Canada game about Quinton Byfield and how he's come into his own here, and it's maybe not as fast as some people would like. Remember when we saw Sebastian Aho for the first time? And we were underneath the stands, and he was in his gray shorts and t-shirt to get ready for the game, and he looked like he was 12 years old. And here he is just a few short years later as one of the most creative players in the league.
And star.
What a line that was. Playing between Laine and Puljujarvi, they were just dominant in a Finnish team that ended up winning the gold medal. What a team they have.
There's Shahovtsov, number 14, playing it back for the Russians. Now flipped ahead, drop pass for Amirov in front. He missed that. You talked about, Ray, one right-handed shot on this Russian team.
It's just such an oddity to think that there's just nobody else ever picked up a stick that hand.
Wallner with it. Moves ahead for Austria. Got bumped off the puck. Cutter with it. Ahead to Gritsuk. He's got Abramov with him. Gritsuk walks in, trying to feed across for Abramov. That was broken up by Jacob Tucker. And poked ahead by Matthias Bohm. Bohm is one of 6 players in this Austrian team who is too young to have been drafted yet or be eligible for a draft in the NHL. They lost another player who is a draft pick. The injury. Timo Nickel, who's picked by Anaheim, is not available here for the Austrian team. So for a team like that to lose an NHL drafted player,
where are you going to replace that, right? Like, you just don't have the depth.
Kucherov plays it back across, and a quick chance. Brandon turns that away. As he stops Spiridonov. The only right-handed shot of the Russian team.
And he's got a penalty. They're picking on him.
Interference will be the call. Austria to the power play when we come back.
8.
Igor Spiridonov is in the penalty box for this interference play. And so Austria, that has just 2 power plays in their first 2 games, gets their first crack at it here, down 2-0. And everything will try to go into Marco Rossi's hands.
The MVP of the Ontario League last year with 120 points in 56 games. And remember, the Austrians qualified last year under Division 1-8 without him. Off the face-off win. And Isaac plays it up. The chance now short-handed. Bardakov feeds it, but Ponomarev couldn't handle that pass. Ponomarev digs forward the corner. And Linder lost the handle as well as it slid back by Bardakov.
Bardakov plays hard. I mean, that's a really good effort play to come back from behind the net to steal the puck.
Husnudinov winds his way in. Husnudinov centers it. Husnudinov is one of 7 Russian players who can return to next year's tournament. That's the biggest change we've seen under Igor Larionov. His predecessor was not a fan of 18-year-old players. Valery Bragin Last year brought a team almost exclusively of 19-year-olds. That was his trademark. Kuznetsov works in and shoots at the goalpost. And now Amirov with a chance. He was moved off the puck by Tala. On the other side, a good chance there for Harnish, and it's kicked up by Akimov. 50 seconds to go in the Austrian power play. Thaler lifts that high in the air. Love down by Kniazev. Below the goal line, here is Hochegger trying to get free. Fabian Hochegger tied up, but Ponomarev plays it down.
Some pretty good examples here of the Russians, just how much more powerful they are as skaters, that they close the gap, there's no room to go, and when there's a puck battle, they're going to win that because they get better balance.
In came Rossi, and that's punched away by Akimov. Well, we saw in the first game, the Russian penalty killing was very aggressive against Team USA. Safonov for Bashkirov. It trickles down to the Austrian net, and Brandner hangs on to that.
Russia has this one chance shorthanded. Austria goes for a change. Everybody leaves. Hello, that leaves that pass from Mohamedulin up on the far side, rang off the goalpost. Kuznetsov with an excellent wrist shot. Quick release over Brandner's blocker. The 100-foot pass from Mohamedulin was a freebie as the Austrians decided to all vacate the ice. Nobody stayed on the far side.
Kuznetsov is also a Minnesota pick. He was taken in the second round of the 2020 draft. Rossi, of course, was a first-round pick to the Wild. That's the Sandy. Play that back down to the Russian zone. They're changing. Chichikov to Gritsuk. Gritsuk shoots. He just missed far side. That's back down to the Russian zone. Artemi Kniazev. Kursanov bounces that down, and Brandner will hang on. Shots are 10-5 in favor of Russia. 2-0 they lead here in the first.
Now the penalty shot by Rodion Amirov, who was able to take the penalty shot after Chernihiv was injured. He's left the Russian bench, by the way. And after Amirov scored to make it 1-0, Captain Vasily Podkolzin, who's got the puck right now, made it 2.
Chernihiv was a first-round pick of the Columbus Blue Jackets, one of 5 first-round NHL picks in this Russian roster, so an important piece of the puzzle for them.
Anytime you see a guy go in feet first, it's just a dangerous way to go into the boards. He didn't really have any other option.
And now he's got a long shot, rebound, score! Podkolzin's got 2. You know, we saw earlier today Quinton Byfield had a 6-point game for Canada. Podkolzin came in with no points and has 2 goals here in the first period.
A little relaxed, the air comes out of you a little bit. You can just play your game. Look how strong Podkolzin is behind the net. Keeps the play alive. Amirov, good work against the boards. He shields the puck. Watch Podkolzin, though. He doesn't stand below the goal line, wondering where the puck's going to go. As this puck ends up back at the point with the work from Amirov, 2 quick strides to the front of the net, and he stops the puck before it gets to Brandner, and then good hands to pull it to his forehand, and he's got a freebie from that point. That's good work by Podkolzin. We've seen the good wrist shot, and now some nice hands from in tight, and Russia leads by 3.
And that was steal by Groshev winding in. Groshev a backhand shot. Brandner makes the save. Back in the point, Kuznetsov to Ponomarev. Crisscrossing with Groshev. Larionov had to juggle his lines here with Chernihiv out. Kuznetsov back to Ponomarev. Zahovtsov puts it back in. Groshev digging for it. Chofin slides it back out. Aren't many easy outs in Group B for Austria. You're in a group with the United States, Sweden, Russia, and the Czechs.
You might have thought the Czechs would have been not as difficult as those other teams, but the Czechs have shown a willingness to play hard. They got run over a little bit today. They had played a great first period, and then all of a sudden the U.S. was just shredding them. But
Stefanov in a backhand shot, just missed Spiridonov.
that'll be another difficult game for Austria. Well, really, they're all going to be as they qualify just to get here.
And now Brander freezes that on the post and hangs on. 4:57 to go in the first period. Vasily Podkolzin, the Vancouver Canucks first-round pick, has 2. NBA and TSN continues Monday with a clash between the Trailblazers and the Clippers. The action gets underway at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on TSN. Blazers beat the Lakers last night. Under 5 to go here in the opening period. Russia with a 3-0 lead on Austria. Kursanov plays it across. That's drawn out. Top Austrian hockey players, of course, Thomas Vanek, a 5th overall pick for the Buffalo Sabres. Michael Raffel, who was signed by the Philadelphia Flyers under the World Championship, an excellent Austrian as well. There's 2 leagues in Austria. Their main pro league then is the Alps Hockey League, which is Petersburg's in the southern part of Austria, Slovenia, and northern Italy. But their specialty is on the snow, going downhill very quickly. The greatest downhill skiing nation in the history of the Olympic Games. More Olympic gold medals in downhill skiing than any other country. Kokenger with a quick shot. That's gloved by Akyamov. In fact, in the late 70s, early 80s, the Soviet Union was trying to get better at downhill skiing, so they let some of their top hockey players go to Austria to play. Alexander Yakushev went, some others, in exchange for Austrian downhill ski coaches to train their skiing athletes.
And when I was a kid, one of the greatest Olympic moments I remember was Franz Klammer winning the gold medal in Innsbruck. He was the last out of the gate. And I remember the call. They said he's all over the course, and he won by like 1/10 of a second. It was amazing.
Podkolzin in, fires at Brander. Hangs on, is it in? It's in. Konstantinov reached in. We'll see who gets the goal. It is right on the goal line. If it's Podkolzin, that's a first period hat trick.
I think this is going to be Huznadinov. Russia quickly through the middle of the ice, and now the attack is on. Podkolzin, lots of room to shoot. And Huznadinov actually taps it over the goal line, and it's a good thing he does. I think Harnish is going to poke this away, but Huznadinov reaches in, and yes, it's his.
Yeah, he does touch it.
He can tell his parents. He can tell his parents it was a slapper from the wing.
I know exactly what you were thinking there.
In my books, that's a beauty.
There's no room in the score sheet for descriptions.
3 points for Podkolzin, though, in this first period.
Yeah. You know, we saw this for the United States. They got beaten by the Russians in their opener and kind of righted the ship against Austria. And the Russians trying to do the same thing after their loss to the Czechs. Everything in Group B is up in the air still, though. A long way to go, even though there's only a couple of days left after this. But
the U.S. has looked good a couple of times. The Swedes have looked fantastic again. And interesting with all the noise around them at the beginning with their positive tests and the coaching staff out. They played the last game without Philip Broberg. They've just got such a good defense, and they look like they can score, too.
Kursanov back with it. Puts it back across to Kanayev. Quick wide pass for Spiridonov. Now Kursanov back with it. Scrum along the boards just inside the blue line for that loose puck. That poor puck.
That thing has no chance to make the second period.
Looked over Kirsanov and icing calls.
Kirsanov went backwards there for about 3 strides.
Threw the anchor out and milked that into an icing call. As calm and stoic behind the bench as Igor Larionov is, that assistant coach we just saw is the opposite. He never stops. Kuznetsov, Abramov. Mikhail Abramov has Victoria this year in the Quebec Major Junior League, walks right in, shoots. Brander makes the stop. He's in his 3rd year at Victoriaville, a team captain there. Abramov swings it back across. Rossi got a stick on that. Chichikov moves that ahead. Afanasiev had that roll off his stick, and Akyamov hangs on to that. And Rossi was in there digging for the loose puck. And that drew the attention of Chichikov.
Strong on his feet, good balance. Rossi's not a big guy, but he looks like he's able to take on the larger players around the traffic areas. He's nifty, he can get in and out of the spot. Oh, Russia's quick tonight.
Well, Podkolzin comes busting in. Vasily Podkolzin. Benaya's have a long shot. Brander kicks that out.
I know they're playing Austria and they have a decided advantage here, but I like the way the Russians are attacking with the puck instead of slowly working their way up the ice. It's get it, go, move, use your speed, use your ability to move the puck.
Brought in by Rossi, whips that towards the goal. It was tipped by the defenseman, by the defender, Hudinov. And Akyamov had to be careful with that. The myth of the Russian 5, Ray, was with the regrouping, everything they did, that they moved the puck slowly. The puck went up the ice slowly.
And who thought that? They weren't the guys playing against them, I'll tell you that.
Right.
I mean, that thing would zip around. You couldn't get within 10 feet of it. And every time you thought you had an angle, they moved it again. And now you got to chase them again.
Mario with a dash, a rebound, he flipped that wide.
I would say that critique was definitely by people that were not playing against them.
Toller moves in. Toller walks in and fires up the goalpost.
Oh, good shot.
Lost it out, yeah.
Good shot by Toller. He played on that promotion team, the one that qualified to get to this tournament. His 3rd year in Sweden. He's playing in Mora in the junior league, and he rips this over Akyamov, right shoulder off the bar and out.
So for a country like Austria, Ray, it's the age-old question: is it better to have them play at home, or have a player like Toller go play in Sweden, which makes him better?
Right. Well, we'll have plenty of time to discuss it. The problem becomes if too many people leave, then your junior league is no good.
Podkolzin's got a couple, 3 points in the opening period, and Russia has a 4-0 lead after 1. You're watching the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton. Our first intermission is coming up.
Bob, you and I got to get in a Reclaws video. They look like they're having all sorts of fun. NBA on TSN action continues a doubleheader tomorrow. Hawks tip it off against the Nets, followed by the Trailblazers and Clippers. Raptors 0-3. So watch some other teams for a little bit till they get on track here on TSN. Here is the aforementioned Bob McKenzie as we're back with our first intermission here on TSN. We have not had a shootout at the World Juniors in 2 years.
Good.
Which I don't mind, yeah, especially in gold medal games. But we get a penalty shot, next best thing.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about it. The referee made the correct call on this one because Chinahoff was coming in all alone. Clear-cut breakaway. and the defender gets the stick right up in the gloves and hooks him. And yeah, he got a good shot off, but it was definitely affected. And so the player's injured, Chinahoff is, and Amarov, the Toronto Maple Leaf first-round pick, comes in, makes no mistake whatsoever. And that's why the Leafs took him in the first round. He's a goal scorer, and he's playing very well this year in the Continental Hockey League. Now, it could be a costly goal, costly penalty shot for the Russians because of the injury to Chinahoff, the Columbus Blue Jackets 21st overall pick. And this one he goes into the boards hard, and it looks like a right leg injury. So the right foot is on all of the thing, and then boom. And that's not a good natural angle for the ankle, the knee, and everything else that goes with it. So we're not going to play doctor here, but this is an important player for the Russians if he's lost for any period of time. And the Blue Jackets will be very concerned about his status as well, because as I said, he's got 8 goals in 27 games in the Continental League against men this year. That's a really impressive total.
We were sympathizing with Marco Rossi and his fortunes with this team at this tournament, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. I've never said this before to a team losing 4-0 after one. But was that the Austrians' best period of the tournament?
No doubt about it. They got 9 shots on goal. There was good pushback, even though they're down by 4. They've only had 16 shots in 6 periods of hockey before tonight. So Rossi, he gets one of those shots early on. Nice backhand opportunity. He creates another one of the shots here where he passes the puck to a teammate who gets buried. And then Rossi, one more coming up the ice. And again, this is such a good hockey player. You can just see it. He's a world-class talent and gets the shot off. But to have 9 shots in the first period against the Russians, even though you're down 4-0, tremendous pushback from the Austrians in this game.
I think at dinner we set the over-under for shots by Austria at 8.
And I think you had a little friendly wager with
Ferraro
commentator Ray Ferraro, and he took the under. So
and he's already lost.
I got to believe that this is a huge victory for Team Duthie.
Marco Kasper, 16 years old. He's with our Ryan Rashog.
Marco, you knew the Russians were going to be a tough test. How do you think you guys made out in that first period overall?
I think we skated more than the last 2 games. We played way better than the last 2 games. We got some shots on goal, but that's always good. And the Russians, they play really hard and tough. We just got to skate. Skate.
Your father, Peter, played in 3 World Juniors at different divisions, 5 Men's World Championships, and the 02 Salt Lake City Olympic Games.
Yeah.
How proud is he of you representing your country now?
Yeah, I think he's pretty proud about that. And I'm also pretty proud to have him as my father and that he played in such good games and tournaments. And he's always helping me with hockey and everything. And it's cool, and that's really good.
How often are you talking to him during the tournament?
Oh, every day.
And what's he saying to you?
Yeah, he's giving me some tips about what I can do better, how to play in the defensive zone and stuff like that.
You're basically in grade 10. You're just 16 years old.
Yeah.
How much homework are you having to do on this trip?
It was kind of much at the beginning, but now, because it's we don't have school right now, so it's not that bad right now.
Thanks for your time, Marco.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
See, when you're ripping these guys on Twitter, 16 years old, what a nice kid. And Peter played from 91 to 94, and Marco doing him proud for Austria. Down 4-0. We'll talk Canada next. Canada, Switzerland. I know you watched it, but let's live it together again. Canada looking to build up that narrow victory over Slovakia on Sunday, and they get off to a terrific start. Just 90 seconds in, Jack Quinn will force the turnover, and Quentin Byfield finds Philip Tomasino. Tomasino has goals in each of Canada's 3 games. He's been excellent. 1-0 after 1. Still looking to get the power play clicking, though, in the second. Just 2 for 8 entering that second period, but Dylan Cousins, net front presence, and he will chip it in behind the goaltender. And they're off from there. Nick Suzuki, his shot deflects off Byfield's right back to him, and he has another power play marker, and Quentin Byfield became the story really quickly. 5-0 through 40, third period. More success with the extra man. Byfield will finish this time. 2 goals, 6 points by the 18-year-old as Canada wins it 10-0 to stay perfect.
Goal, so that's definitely in the back of my mind. Just getting the relief, finally scoring off that play. Definitely released some pressure, but I still just played the same way, and just got the bounce today, and everything was just going my way.
He uses the word relief. It's crazy to call it a coming out party for Quentin Byfield. He's had a ton of huge games in the OHL. He's a 2nd overall draft pick, but at this particular tournament, it felt like that.
Yeah, he was the 13th forward, finished, didn't play a minute in the gold medal game last year. Comes back. And Tim Stützle, who went one pick after him in the NHL draft, has been so dynamic and putting up points. Today was Byfield's big coming out party, if you want to call it that, at the World Juniors. And the goals were great, no doubt about it. The assists were maybe even better. And even beyond the goals and the points, which were great, he was strong on faceoffs. He was really good without the puck. He was a physical presence. He really had a great all-around game. And for that matter, relative to the opponent that they were playing, Switzerland, all of Team Canada did what they wanted to do today. They got offense all up and down the lineup. The defense was largely solid. The goaltending, no issues. They sorted out some power play issues. So I've got to believe that Andre Tourigny, in the relative sense of it was a game against Switzerland, not a powerful team, they accomplished a lot of the things that they wanted to do, and none more so than Quinton Byfield.
Byfield, youngest player on the team for the second straight year, which I'm guessing has never happened before with Team Canada. And he's right there, third in tournament scoring right now with the 6-point day. Dylan Cousins had a couple of points, gets up to 9. Trevor Zegras with 5 today for the Americans. And he leads the way right now with 10. So day off for Canada tomorrow, and then New Year's Eve against Finland, the one we circled as soon as the groups and the sked came out, will likely decide Group A. Finland does play Slovakia tomorrow. They will need that to go 3-0 and force that showdown with Canada. Russians in control, up 4-0 on Austria.
We got gas in the tank to go all night. We got gas in the tank to go all night. Relentless. We don't walk alone.
Back here in Edmonton, your first period scoring summary. 4 goals for the Russians, starting with the Amirov penalty shot. Then Vasily Podkolzin puts on a show, 2 goals and an assist. Russia shoots Austria 17-9 and leads 4-0 after 1. Gord Miller back here with Ray Ferraro. I know it's a game against Austria, an overmatched opponent, but that's got to feel great for Podkolzin.
It does. I mean, they're well aware they're the better team, but it doesn't matter. When you have it scored, you want to get on the board, and Vasily Podkolzin was able to do so. Terrific first period. We talked about him in the pregame as one of those guys that Igor Larionov wanted to get off the schneid. He scored 2 beautiful goals, 2 different ways. A quick shot, a nice hands move in front of the net, and then he picks up this assist as the puck squeaks through Bradner, and then Huznadinov is able to one-hand tip it over the line. And it's a good first period for Russia. They were able to get Podkolzin rolling and maybe feel a little bit better about themselves offensively, too.
The one downside for Russia, Igor Chernyakov has not returned tonight. We don't expect him to. So we'll check his status prior to Russia's game tomorrow against Sweden at 7:30 local time. We're on 9:30 Eastern time. A huge matchup between those two. After a sharp angle, it's fired wide by Amirov, who got straightened up against the Czechs with a huge hit at center ice that seemed to knock him off stride for a while. Huznadinov. That is that back tap at center ice. By the way, for those of you who watch a lot of us doing international hockey, if it gets to be a 6-goal spread, we do a trivia question.
And unlike the question this afternoon, this one I'm assuming will be factually correct in its question.
The one earlier was as well, but anyway. Afanasyev moved across the line. It's a dandy, if I may say so myself.
Well, let me tell you about me. I'm tired of talking about me. Why don't you talk about me for a bit?
Here's shoots, it goes off the leg of the
And for those of you not following along, Gord thinks it's a dandy because Gord makes the questions.
Abramov, great move along the boards, walks in and shoots, and Bradner makes the stop on Mikhail Abramov, who draws into the Russian lineup for the first time in this tournament.
Geez, he showed some nice wheels there out on the outside and then protected the puck as he was able to drive to the front of the net. A 76-point year in Victoriaville last year. He comes across the ice to poke the puck and keep it alive. Gets that left leg out to keep Pfeffer away from the puck, and Bradner's able to slide across to make the save, but a nice dash for Abramov.
You know, feeling Bob McKenzie's watching over your shoulder when you're calling a game? He is. Hi, Bob. Safonov for Bashkirov. Back at the point, Krisanov runs and shoots, and Bradner knocks that away. Bosch trying to poke that free, picked up by Safonov. Safonov drops, and it's fired wide by Bashkirov.
I'm assuming that walk next year for Bob is going to be a lot more complicated than just walking down here now where there's nobody in the hallway.
Caution line. Got that knocked away. Brought in by Grosjev. And the 3 returnees from last year's team for the Russians. All 3 eligible players did return. Now played to the side of the goal by Podkolzin. And somehow Grosjev missed. He rang it off the pipe. Check that Ponomaryov with the pass. Here's Ponomaryov, centers it. Loose puck, Grosjev then plays it across. And Bardakov missed.
Gord, I'm in amazement that Grosjev just didn't take 1 step to his left and shovel it into the empty net. I can't believe that was like a degree of difficulty shot when he clinked it off the post.
There's Grosjev back with it. Long wrist shot, that skips wide. Ponomaryov. Drops it back to Grosjev. Bardakov drops it back. The puck gets by everyone and back down the ice. Amirov moves it in for Husnudinov. He gets loose. Husnudinov bangs that back at the point. That long shot by Bichkov. Hit a leg in front. Amirov back to Bichkov. Russians are changing. Bichkov shoots. That's deflected. And knocked down by Linder.
Every time this top line has been on the ice, Husnudinov, Amirov, and Podkolzin, they've been in the offensive zone for an extended period of time.
Rodion Amirov who scored a penalty shot to open the scoring. Drops it back. Bichkov. Husnudinov. Now that Husnudinov sent flying. Zahovtsov had his pass picked off by Peters. Rossi comes jumping in. Peters in, but Rossi's ahead of the play, and it's called offside.
There's Maxim Grosjev, a Tampa Bay third-rounder. Terrific play by Podkolzin down to the goal line. Like, why not just take 1 step to your backhand and slide it in the net? Anyway, he clinked it off the post, and Brandner's very happy that that puck deflects away. I like Grosjev, though. He's a powerful guy, good size at 6'1", about 190 pounds.
Well, I mentioned if he's a third-round pick of Tampa, he's bound to be a superstar.
And they do that a lot.
Drops up, plays it down. Abramov in on it. Afanasyev down to Vitsa to Abramov. Nifty play there for Afanasyev. Was knocked away from him. Toller's got it back for Austria. Toller moves around Chichikov. Hochegger crisscrossing there with Harnish. Now back at the point. Pfeffer with a shot, hit a skate. And it's scooped up by Gritzer. Pass ahead to Abramov. That's knocked away. Played back down to the Russian zone. Mohamedulin in a battle for it. Knocked back by Toller, and Lindner plays it back in. Knocked down by Spiridonov. A race for it, and this will be icing against the Russians. It's not the World Junior, unless the Bob father's here. Oh, Robert?
Came down. Now I feel the pressure, eh?
Yeah.
Bob comes down and...
Well, if it's any consolation, Bob and I once did the worst broadcast ever of a World Junior game in the Boston Tournament in '96, Russia, Sweden. We were awful.
See, everybody's got to be on the board for something.
Yeah,
congratulations to you guys. What made this the worst broadcast? Can you give an example?
It's my first game doing play-by-play at the World Junior. I probably didn't know the players as well as I could have. I called a goal that wasn't, didn't call a goal that was. Bob at one point just stopped talking. And then we got in a helicopter after the game to fly back to, I was in Springfield. We got back in a helicopter after the game to fly to Boston for the Canada game that night. And I didn't realize Bob was petrified of helicopters. So that didn't go well.
So he was feeling really good for the nightcap. That's outstanding.
But our careers managed to recover from
Yes.
that. By the way, if you're wondering, so Bob's wearing a mask, and part of the rules in the bubble here, while we're broadcasting, obviously we don't, but when you're in the common areas of the hotel, when you're in the common areas of the arena, masks must be worn.
And as soon as we're off the air,
intermissions
and such, masks are on. We're all in our own little cohort too.
Yeah, so within our group, for example, when we eat meals, we only eat with our group of 6, socially distanced. That long shot just wide from Kusanov.
So if you think I'm on the air with Gord a lot, I'm going to eat every meal with Gord as well. I mean, we're talking about a challenge.
Khrushchev walks and shoots this far side. So the IIHF announced today, though, that after the latest round of testing, there have been no new positive tests. 5 Germans came out of quarantine today. There have been no positive tests at all among the support staff, broadcasters, or anyone else involved in the tournament. Amirov bounces that down, and that's gloved by Brandner. 13:28 to go in the second period. Russia leads 4-0. Well, Canada wraps up the preliminary round on New Year's Eve, 5:30 Eastern Time, 2:30 Pacific. Our coverage starts. Canada takes on Finland. And the Finns, once again, have proven themselves to be the top team in this tournament. Between them, Canada and Finland have won 6 of the last 7 gold medals going back to 2014. 3 each. And when the Finns win, it's not golf. 2 of those gold medals were won on golden goals in 2014 and 2016, and then the breathtaking gold medal game against the United States in Vancouver in 2019.
Even when they're undermanned, like they're just in every game, they make it so difficult. And of course, the gold medal teams that they had, the one in Helsinki was just a terrific team. Kasperi Kapanen goal.
There's Amirov in the centering pass. That misses. It was Rasmus Ristolainen for the golden goal in 2014. Here's Podkolzin. Centering pass. That's tapped wide. Rebound. Podkolzin just missed.
Well, this line is all over it.
Amirov just missed as well. Now Podkolzin poking at it. Now a chance for the Austrians. 2-on-1. Kasper works in. Kasper centers in, and a chance, score! Senna Peters has Austria's first goal of this World Junior Championship.
Peters has 7 goals in 6 games in the Swedish Junior League this year. And when this team got promoted from 1A to the World Junior Championship, he had 3 goals in 5 games. He fights off the back-checking Russian forward to take this really nice pass. Oh, it's Mohamedulin. Oh, I'm sorry, Ponomarayev. He lifts Ponomarayev's stick to take this sweet little dish from this 16-year-old forward, Marco Kasper, eligible for the 2022 draft. And Peters is on the board, as is Austria, and it's 4-1.
Peters played for Halifax in the Quebec League last year. Had 23 goals in 57 games. And you can see the joy in their faces. We talked about this before, Ray, but when you talk to these young players, there's not one of them wishes they weren't here or regrets it. No matter how one-sided the scores are, this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
And that's really the saddest part for me is that some of these players will certainly never get to play an event of this prestige again, and the buildings aren't full.
Skirov in shoots.
You know, they miss out. And to me, I feel badly for them. You talk about knowing a cross-country skier that finished 53rd of 55.
He finished 53rd of the 55 in the Olympics and said, I wore my country's colors in the Olympic Games. Marks in the opening ceremony, the closing ceremony. I'll treasure that for the rest of my life.
And it's the same here.
Tangle up in front of the Russian bench here.
Oh,
Safonov with a big hit.
Safonov's a giant, 6'4", 205. Here's the 2-on-1. Peters to Kasper, and Kasper's out of real estate, so he shoves it across the ice. A nice little pass here, but Peters, who started the play, finishes the play. as he beats Akhtiamov over the glove, and it's 4-1. We'll have some penalties here.
Safonov goes off. Now,
Russian number 24, 2 minutes for boarding and a 10-minute misconduct.
So that's the only penalty. I think at one point, Netsasani went off, but didn't realize he didn't have a penalty. But this is a really, the IIHF brought this in a few years ago. The checking to the head, checking from behind brings an automatic 2 and 10. It really is punitive because now for Safonov, he's done for the period. So combine that with the intermission, he's not going to play for close to an hour.
And really, Gord, you've talked about this many times. It's really a safety issue because these rules go up and down the IIHF. It's not just for the World Junior or for the World Championships. It's for Division 1A, anything. And so it's a safety issue for teams that might be mismatched in some division that we're not watching here.
42 different nations took part in the various levels of the World Junior Championship in 2019, the last year of full competition. As varied as South Africa, Turkey, and all of these officials work these tournaments. The entire infrastructure is there for every level of every division.
Number 24, Ilyas, 2 minutes for boarding and 10 minutes at 8:30. One penalty certified by
Rossi drops it back for Lindner. Here's Rossi with it. Floats that towards the goal. Was knocked down by Akhtiamov. He kind of sat there for a moment. Ponomariov chips it back down in the Austrian zone. Luis Lindner's back to pick it up. Played last year for the Boston Junior Bruins in the United States Development League. Brought out by Collar.
Amirov with a quick little stop up and clear down the ice. The Russians' quickness really is evident on their penalty kill. They take away everything. They have smothered everybody, it seems like, when they're shorthanded.
Collar sends it in. Hochhager back for Pfeffer. Toller to Pfeffer. That shot fired wide by Harnisch. Harnisch trying to dig it free. And it's banked over Pfeffer. Now a chance for Amirov, and way out to play it is Brander. And the Russians will change. Past the midway point of the second period. Russia leading 4-1. Russians wrap up the round robin tomorrow night against Sweden. We'll be there for that one. And looking forward to it. Austria plays the Czechs to wrap things up on New Year's Eve. Here's Medinov. Back for Afanasiev. He lost the puck to Rossi, who can really fly. In comes Rossi with Peters. Kursanov stays with Rossi. And the teams are back to 5-on-5. Pala, that long shot deflected, but Colson got in the way of that. Now played back in for Peters. Sent up Peters. Down to Rossi. And Peters seals the wall. You can see more jump, and the Austrians stepping out for the goal, right?
Well, just a touch of success.
That's a Sani.
That one caught Colson, I think, in the midsection.
He's blocked 2 shots in this shift. That's a Sani back across to Pollard.
That's a good play that Colson.
Colson works it free, and away they come. Afanasiev. Afanasiev's peeling off on a change. Afanasiev's all by himself. And throws it back in the corner. Now a steal. Bardakov walks in and fires. Pad save. Made by Brander. Ponomariov tries to drop it back. Does. Grosjean a shot. Brander the stop. Bardakov back with it. Feeds it back in the slot. Ponomariov couldn't get a shot away. Chichikov. To Bardakov, that's broken up by Netsasani. Now a centering pass for Grosjean. Couldn't find a handle. Collier plays it away. Chofin comes across the line. Chichikov puts him off the puck. Grosjean feeds that back for Mohamedullah. Chichikov. Lead pass to Bashkirov. And Spiridonov gets that shot away. Aschenbeiner. Tying up in the corner. Now work free by Spiridonov. Spiridonov lays that back. Beachcom a long shot. That deflects wide. And the Russians stay with it. Gritsuk. Now a drop pass. Bashkirov put it wide. Aschenbeiner plays it back across. And lifted up by Posh. And Posh is on with it. Now Prime skated by it. And Spiridonov settles things down. 6.5 to go in the second period. Kuznetsov. Up ahead to Podkolzin. Podkolzin looking for the return pass from Amirov. Now back at the point. Kanaya's up with a shot. That deflected wide. Kuznetsov got tied up there by Peters. Rossi banks it across. And Kutzer has it. Top line out there for the Austrians. Moved ahead by the captain Rossi. In comes Marco Rossi. Shoots. And Akhmedov makes the stop. Rossi gathers up the rebound. Now the side of the wall. Peters with a chance. And Akhmedov makes a stop on that. Back comes Amirov the other way. Drops it back for Abramov. This has been a much more competitive game, I think, than we thought it would be, right?
Well, certainly when Russia made it 4-0, I thought this thing was going to be a disaster. You got to give Austria some credit here. They've hung tough. It seems like they've played in less fear as the game's gone on. That they're not so timid. They're up the ice a little bit more. They forecheck a little bit more. They get on the puck a little bit more. And it's been a much better period, of course, for them, not just because they've scored.
Khrushchev in, shoots, that was blocked by Unterweger. Abramov shovels that in front. Shot by Khrushchev, deflected wide. Now Khrushchev pivots back. Khrushchev to Kuznetsov to Bashkirov. His severing pass was missed by both Beachkov and Gritsuk. Gritsuk banks it back. Beachkov for Kuznetsov. Centers it, bouncing puck got away from Abramov. Linder for Taller. And now Harnish has it. Harnish along with Hookhager. Hookhager a long shot. But Abramov knocks that away. Hookhager on the forecheck. Tangles there with Beachkov. And Bashkirov. The Beachkov to Spiridonov. Grander leaves that for Taller.
Austria's other goaltender, Sebastian Ranishits, must be wondering where are all the shots. He's faced 133 in 2 games.
Amirov with a chance, and Grander got a piece of that to knock it up and out of play. 4-1, Russia leads. Ouch. It can be tough out there sometimes. There's always something new on Crave. Catch latest hit movies, family favorites, and new series you won't find anywhere else. Subscribe now at crave.ca. 3:52 to go here in the second period. Russia with a 4-1 lead on Austria. If the Austrians could just find a way to play this game on skis. Offside, plays around Ponomarev, lost it, and a quick chance there for Matthias Holm. You mentioned the backup goaltender Sebastian Ranishits, who allowed 10 goals on 68 shots. The Team USA got shaken up and left that game. He was named their player of the game, and rightfully so.
Yeah, and then he only had 65 against Sweden in the 4-0 loss. And he was brilliant in the game. Got beat 3 times on the power play.
Kirsanov works in, drops it back. Parnikov a shot that goes wide. I wonder how worried Igor Larionov is that it's only 4-1.
they haven't had any easy look to much of the game. Now, they had that 10-minute stretch in the first period where Podkolzin had a couple of goals and almost had the third that Huznadinov punched over the goal line, but everything else is not gone easy. I will say I like the way they skated tonight a heck of a lot better than the way they played against the Czechs.
Here's Podkolzin with it. Vasily Podkolzin centers it. Bounces off the stick. Podkolzin back in the corner with it. Chichikov with a shot. That deflected wide. Lively bounce off the inboards. Amirov.
Now here's that line again.
Amirov back to Chichikov. He walks around Tyrek. And the shot deflects to the corner. Amirov tied up there by Kutzer. Kutzer slaps at it, but Abramov sealed the wall. Now it's finally slapped down the ice by Kreins, but this will keep tired Austrians on the ice.
Now Russia gets a new group on the ice, and you can see as you know, when the players are hunched over, bent over, coasting around, they're all trying to grasp another 5 seconds of air.
Off the draw. Afanasyev flips it back in the corner. Tyrek throws it off Kuznetsov, and the Austrians can race off the ice. It's like they're heading for lifeboats.
When you're out of wind, it does not come back very quick.
Bichkov plays it across to Kuznetsov. This tournament, the 10th anniversary of Russia's last win at the World Junior, the gold medal win in Buffalo in 2011. 1 goal for Russia in the last 17 years. They finished second 7 times in that 17-year stretch, including last year.
1 minute left in the second period.
Final minute on the second period. Rossi at the Kasper up for Peters. In a backhand shot. Akyamov makes the stop.
You know, Akyamov's made some good saves too tonight. The Toronto draft has been pretty sharp.
Bardakov moves it out along with Spiridonov. Bounce it back. Kanayev into the high slot. Amirov with a shot. That deflected wide. Kanayev centering pass. Good job by Peters to break that up. It was a tap it in front for Amirov. Ballard for Kasper, and Kasper knocks it out. Chichikov had the pass broken up at center ice. And Pfeffer banks it off the sideboards. Final seconds now of the period. Amirov winds in, rink wide to Podkolzin. Podkolzin in, shoots. Brenner makes the stop with 2.6 seconds left.
A couple of first-rounders at work there as Amirov goes across to Podkolzin. Almost no time left, and a shot on goal. We'll take a look at that last rush from Austria. There's a sweet little play by Marco Rossi as Rossi gets the puck to Kasper, who slides it across to Peters. Those two connected for the only goal of this period, which made the score 4-1. But Akyamov there to make the save.
And Austria outscores Russia 1-0 in the period. It's a 4-1 lead for the Russians after 2. You're watching the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton. Our second admission with James Duffy and Bob McKenzie is coming up.
The college football playoff semifinals come your way New Year's Day as number 4 Notre Dame takes on number 1 ranked Alabama, followed by a clash between number 3 Ohio State and the eventual national champion, number 2 Clemson, led by Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Coverage begins 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on TSN. Keeps rolling all night long. Oh, Bob came back from his little visit with Gordon Ray. Are you sick of me already?
No, the bosses wanted me to go over and do a little job evaluation on Gordon Ray. So
Is it going to be harsh? Hey, we got an Austria goal. Everybody, there's 2 good things about this. First of all, you don't want a team like this to go goalless through a tournament. And they were 0 goals for, 20 against before they scored that goal. And second, the Austria goal song is terrific.
Awesome. It sounds like a polka. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't even like beer, and I wanted to drink beer when I heard the song. Having said that, terrific for Austria. And if you saw the intermission interview with number 19, Marco Kasper, he feeds that puck over to Senna Peters. And the really nice thing about this, other than Austria scored their first goal of the tournament, is that both those players are eligible to return to the tournament next year. In fact, 11 players on this Austrian team are eligible to return next year, and there's no relegation, so they will have that opportunity to come back into this building, hopefully with fans, and enjoy it. But if you saw that intermission interview with the Kasper kid, what a marvelous interview. 16-year-old kid, and to be as open and honest and just as genuine as he was,
right.
And the excitement that they've got going here, that's awesome.
When I see those kids, I always try to imagine myself being interviewed at 16 and the absolute idiot I would sound like on television if that happened. Don't say anything about still the same. Podkolzin had a quiet period there, but not a quiet night. And just little tastes of what Vancouver can expect.
Yeah, very hard worker. He's not, he was an elite shooter there. I don't know that he's going to go to the National Hockey League and be a first-line scoring winger, but he's going to be just a great all-around player and a great all-around pro. Leadership, third consecutive World Junior Championship. He grinds, he hits, he scores, he makes plays. 2 goals, 1 assist. And the Russians have that big number 1 line, and they put it back together for this game because they broke it up after in the game against the Czechs, and they didn't get a lot generated against the Czechs. So nice to see them back together with Amarov, Huzdadinov, and Podkolzin.
And let's hear from a Flames prospect, second-rounder Yan Kuznetsov with Ryan Rishog.
Well, Jan, a good lead for your team heading into the third period. What do you think that you've done well tonight as a group?
We're just trying to play our hockey, find the chemistry between the lines, and I think it's going well right now. But we gotta still score more of our chances because we have like almost 40 shots and just 4 goals. We gotta be better at this.
What message do you commonly hear from your head coach, Igor Larionov, about the way that he wants you guys to play and produce offense?
Sometimes just don't get rid of the puck and find a better option to move the puck to, like your partner, or maybe a good rebound, like far pad of the goalie, like all this stuff.
Thanks for your time.
Play smart hockey.
Sorry to interrupt. Appreciate your time. Thanks and good luck.
Thank you.
Dropped back by Brink. Chris shot through some traffic. Rebound on the goal line. Score!
There you have it. Bobby Orr Brink gets the USA on the board. I can never say his name, just Bobby Brink, because I just love the Bobby Orr Brink.
Plays it back across. Podkolzin walks in, but Podkolzin shoots, scores! And the captain strikes with his first in this World Junior, and it's 2-0 Russia. The fans there. With a quick shot, scores! Tomasino again! Phil Tomasino has scored in 3 straight games, and Canada's got a 1-0 lead. Here's Harley with it. Back to Korzak. Korzak shoots, tipped in for rebound. Oh, what a stop by Patnote. Zeri thought he had an open net there and couldn't cash, but Patnote turned him away.
Some of your best players from day 5 at the World Juniors. All right, here's what you need to know about Group B. Let's assume Russia wins this game. Russia plays Sweden tomorrow night. Sweden's 54-game group play winning streak will be on the line. If Russia wins that game, it will win the group. But if Sweden wins that game, then everything will come down to a New Year's Eve game between Sweden and USA, both the streak and the winner of the group. Much simpler here. If Finland beats Slovakia tomorrow, Canada and Finland New Year's Eve to decide who wins Group A. Canada with an impressive 10-0 victory today over Switzerland. One of the impressive things was they got the power play going after a slow start. It hadn't been good against Slovakia, wasn't good in the first period. What was wrong and how did they fix it?
Well, to borrow Craig Button's word, it was stagnant. And what was happening was the puck was moving slowly and their feet weren't moving at all. 5 players basically stationary, nobody moving their feet and not moving the puck very quickly. And the execution simply wasn't there either, trying to make simple passes. You know, they're getting their entries okay, but I mean, not battling hard enough. So go to the second period though, and boom, suddenly everything changes. The puck is moving quickly, tic-tac-toe in the back of the net. And that's what they want. They also made an adjustment where Jamie Drysdale went on the second power play unit, and right away it started to generate things from the point. Drysdale's so good at getting pucks through, and he did that, and Byfield tipped the Drysdale shot. So the movement that they had on that power play, both literally and figuratively, was very good.
Power play always important in hockey, but even more so it seems at the World Juniors, where 5 of the last 6 gold medal winners have had the best power play in the tournament, and 3 times that has been Canada, including that one last year, which one of the huge reasons they won gold in the Czech Republic. Here it is Russia 4, Austria 1 through 40 minutes of play. Give credit to the Austrians, who were down big early but have hung around, actually win the second period. We'll see if they can hang in there again for the last 20 on TSN.
How about that? Austria with the only goal of the period. Senna Peters gets the first goal for Austria at the World Juniors in January of 2010. They played in the relegation side in Saskatoon. Shots 30-15 in favor of Russia in a 4-1 lead. Gord Miller back here with Ray Ferraro. There's no relegation this year, but the Austrians seem destined not to finish in the quarterfinals. However, that was a good period for them.
Really good period. I was happy for them because they've been run over in a couple of games here, and I think most of us expected, down 4-0 in the first period, that things weren't going to go very well for them. But here's the Peters goal. Really nice feed from the 16-year-old Casper, and they're on the board. It's 4-1, but that wasn't it for them. I thought they attacked. They were more aggressive. They showed very little fear in that second period. As opposed to expecting something bad to happen, they were going to try and make something good. Peters had another good chance on another Casper pass, and there they are. They go into the third period down 3-4-1 in a game where they've played pretty well for most of it.
Meanwhile, Ilya Stefanov begins this third period in the penalty box, still serving his 10-minute misconduct. He has not played in 34 minutes. Now here's Casper with a chance. Walks in, poke check by Chichikov. That's a Sandy shot just wide. This is 5-on-5 play. Stefanov was called for a 2-minute minor and a 10-minute misconduct. In addition, Igor Trikhanov was injured for Russia in the first period and has not returned tonight. Now his status for that critical game tomorrow night between Russia and Sweden will be a question mark. Afanasyev pops it back to Kuznetsov. Jan Kuznetsov, you saw that intermission interview. An incredible story. Came to North America at 16. Didn't know the language.
I think it's remarkable, Gord, how fluent in English he is. He's a college student. He's chasing a pro career, a second-round pick of Calgary this past June.
Kuznetsov, well, he's taken down hard by Austria's Lucas Toller. Kuznetsov is studying business management at the University of Connecticut. Abramov taken down, a penalty coming out of Austria.
Abramov's been good tonight. He's given them life. He's had fresh legs, and he's attacked the puck. I've liked this game.
He didn't play the first 2 games for Russia.
21 Austria, minor penalty tripping.
Tim Harnish goes off for the trip.
This is the first power play for Russia as Harnish gets his stick into the feet of Abramov. The Russian power play has no goals in just 5 opportunities.
0 for 5. Really struggling against the Czechs. Amirov plays it back. Kanayev unloads. That goes wide. And you've talked about their power play alignment. Kanayev. Long wrist shot, score!
I'm not sure if that was tipped on the way or if it went all the way through here. But that's a good move by Kanayev. Kanayev takes the puck from his right and goes all the way across the line and then shoots it back through what is now a double-stacked screen with Podkolzov and Kuznetsov. As Kanayev goes across, Kuznetsov goes straight in front of Brandner right at the time when the puck arrives. Look at the mobility across the line. A simple, clean wrist shot. Oh, beautiful. What a great look from the guys. And that goes just perfectly into the corner of the net.
Didn't touch a thing. So Artemi Kanayev, the San Jose second-round pick, the oldest player in the tournament. He turns 20 on January the 4th. This tournament open to players born in 2001 or later.
San Jose second-round pick.
Played here in Edmonton in the Olympic Gretzky Cup in 2018, where Vasily Podkolzin was the scoring star for Russia. It was Mohamedulin with it. Mohamedulin was a member of the 2019 Russian Olympic Gretzky Cup team that won gold in the Czech Republic, beating Canada in the gold medal game. Mohamedulin with it now, works it and shoots. And Grander knocked that away. Puts it up after Kryans. Stolen by Amirov. Walks in. He's poke checked there by Bernhard Posch. Finn Vanny slid that down to the Russian zone. Husnudinov was knocked off the front. Heller back with it. Now Kryans chips it back out for the Austrian. Podkolzin works in. And Pfeffer knocked him off the puck. Podkolzin with a couple of goals in the first period as a three-point night going for the Russians. They've given that goal to Podkolzin, but that's going to be changed, I would think. That didn't touch anything, did it, right?
I thought it went clean through. I thought that last look of ours that the guys had showed it perfectly.
Ritsa jumps in now for the Russians, shoots, and Brander makes the stop. The rebound drops down to the side of the net. Rovsov waiting for it. Pass for Mirov, and icing called against the Russians.
So we'll get another look at it as Artemi Kanayev is going to walk across the blue line. Podkolzin's out in the slot, 19. He's not even close to it. That puck's by him by the time his stick goes up in the air, but you can tell as the arc of the puck doesn't change. It doesn't start to wobble, it doesn't change. That puck is clean through the screen and into the net.
Abramov works in with Ritsa. And Afanasyev. Abramov. Back for Beachkov. Beachkov along his shot, that goes high. And now Beachkov can't hold the line. Roman Beachkov is a Boston fifth-round pick in 2019. He played in Alberta in 2018 a couple of times in the Olympic Gretzky Cup. He also played in the World Junior A Challenge in Bonnyville, Alberta. You know what the name of the Bonnyville hockey team is?
Oh, I used to know.
The Pontiacs.
The Pontiacs.
Great name. Kanayev back with it. Perked it up and Chofin with a chance. That goes wide. Wallner back around for Bone. And Groshev puts that high in the air. They've changed the goal now to Kanayev, as they should. Konstantinov and Afanasyev draw the assist. Kanayev's pass is picked off by Tyrek. And settled down by Kirsanov. Spiridonov. Lead pass missed. Pfeffer goes back. Icing was waved off as Pfeffer got bumped into the inboards. Picked up by Spiridonov. Mohamedulin plays it across. Chichikov with a shot that goes off a stick, up and out of play.
Well, Russia comfortably in front. The 4-goal first period, the power play goal here, and I would suspect Igor Larionov would like to use most of his bench here for the remainder of this game, given their short turnaround to the game against Sweden tomorrow.
Man known as the Professor when he played in North America. He was 29 when he came over. Amirov. Imagine him playing, I mean, not that 29 is not your prime, but imagine him playing in all of his 20s in the NHL. Husnudinov with a chance there. Amirov. Chichikov, now a centering pass. Husnudinov comes in. His shot was blocked.
Now, when I got to play against them,
Husnudinov drops it back. Amirov with a chance.
beautiful play. Beautiful play. I got to play against them when the big line was still together. It was amazing to watch them play. Igor, he just kind of glided around there. Not to overstate it, but it seemed like he was almost royalty when you played against him.
Safonov.
It'll be tough with that stick on the ice.
Wallner tries to play it around. Shkirov lost it. Hochegger brings it in now for the Austrians. Fabian Hochegger. It's set sprawling there by Beachcock. Wallner. Guys around here. Safonov with it. Bill Kuznetsov. And Kuznetsov pass chipped in by Spiridonov. And Bernhard Posch goes back for it. Fires it back down to the Russian zone. Afanasyev to Abramov with Afanasyev. Winds it across the line. The centering pass bounces right back to him. Now picked up by Gritsik. Kirsanov back with it. To Kanayev. Well, the most recent Russian goal. Kanayev threads it back in. Brander down. Gritsik couldn't reach it. Now Kirsanov back to pick it up for Kanayev. Fowler back with it. Julian Poschenbein regroups for Chopin. Bardakov. In across the line. Panamario the shot. That goes wide. Mohamedulin. In for Grosjev to Panamario. He tangles there with Volner. Panamario, the centering pass for Grosjev, taking a shot away. And brought up by Kreins. So Hofsov is spilled by Van Ee. And Mohamedulin has it back. Shakir Mohamedulin, first-round pick of New Jersey.
You know, we talk about the different maturity levels of players, and Mohamedulin's about 170 pounds. He's 6'2".
Penalty coming to Austria.
And by the time he gets his way to New Jersey, he's going to weigh 25 or 30 pounds more. He's a different person.
Chichikov takes the return pass to Amirov. To Chichikov. Mohamedulin winds and shoots. Bardakov save. Rebound loose in front. They battle away for it. Amirov down. And Bashkirov's shot was blocked. Chichikov. And finally, the Austrian touched up. And the Russians will go to the power play, up 5-1 after the goal by Artemi Kanayev.
26 Austria, minor penalty for roughing.
There is the penalty as Van Ee is in the penalty box for roughing, hands up a little high. So Russia, their second power play tonight.
0 for 6 so far in the tournament. Oh, pardon me, 1 for 6 in the tournament. They got their first look at the Kanayev goal. They came in 0 for 5.
When you only draw 5 power plays and you're a team as skilled as the Russians, to me, that means you're not taking the puck into the middle of the ice. You're not forcing anybody to make a decision defensively.
Podkolzin jumps in, plays it back across. Oh, what a stop by Brandner. Amirov thought he'd scored.
So did I. What a great save from Brandner. Jacob Brandner has to deal with Podkolzin steaming in off the right wing as he takes this long pass. Look at, he protects the puck, and he goes straight across to Amirov. Amirov, who scored on the power play in the first period, maybe doesn't get all of it as the puck flips up off his stick. Oh, what a great stop.
There's a highlight memory for Brandner. A stop on a National Hockey League first-round pick. Mohamedullah takes the return pass from Podkolzin. Mohamedullah shoots. That goes off a foot. Bardakov to Ponomaryov. Mohamedullah. Ponomaryov walks in and shoots. It goes off a leg as well. Rosha tries to play that back, and it rattles over the glass, and the face-off will come outside.
His first game of the tournament after watching Sebastian Ranishits get pummeled for 133 shots in the first two games. Jacob Brandner comes in and makes an amazing stop here of Rodion Amirov. He's looking up to the board to see the highlight. He just have to look for a second more, and he's going to see it. Brandner's done a good job here. 5-1 Russia with just over 9 minutes left, and he's faced 40 shots and made several really good stops in his initial start in the tournament.
As you mentioned, they lost 4-0 to Sweden. The Swedes scored 3 power play goals in that game.
And had 65 shots. Like, the play was, for large stretches, just only in the Austrian zone, and Ranishits made save after save after save. It was really a terrific goaltending performance.
They got caved in by the U.S. Lost 11-0. The Americans hit about 8 goalposts.
What I think ends up happening to a team like Austria is that if the game is more direct and physical and straight ahead, that's a problem for them. This, of course, is more European-style game, maybe a little less physical, and they can hang in these games a little better.
Kanayev, back to Afanasyev.
And I would say it's the same for the Swiss. We saw them get run over by the Americans today. And it's like they can't handle the physicality of when the game gets like that. Oh, Podkolzin's on the limp here.
Yeah, he's gone to the bench, not feeling well. One shot for the Russians on that power play, and Podkolzin being attended to on the Russian bench. Stefanov, whose banishment finally ended. Spent nearly 40 minutes idle.
Legs must feel great. Aren't you starting all over again, Gord? You know, you sit there for that long.
Well, it is, you know, it is a punitive penalty, and it's designed to be that. And by the way, it's had the intended effect.
Oh, you bet it has. I mean, the players get the, if you give them just a regular penalty, it doesn't send a message. They lose 12 minutes of ice time. Oh, they're getting the note.
Spiridonov's pass just missed Bashkirov. Pfeffer trying to poke it free, but Abramov's got it back to Mohamedullah. Vitsa comes off the bench. In shoots, and Brandner makes a stop on that. But Podkolzin's still on the Russian bench. Appears to be okay. Bashkirov deflects down. Brandner makes the stop and hangs on. Jacob Brandner. Little windmill stop on Amirov. Time now for the Gatorade shift of the game.
Russia came into this game hoping Vasily Podkolzin could get on track. He's been outstanding for Russia. Scores 2 goals in a couple of minutes in the first period. This one getting to the front of the net. Great work, great hands, and into the empty net.
Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel. That shot was blocked. Podkolzin, by the way, just had a conversation with Igor Larionov. I'm not sure we'll see him again in the game tonight. seemed to be the indication that he wouldn't come back.
He's been banged up a couple of times tonight where he's been on the limp and then he goes back out. He doesn't look like anything's really hampering his play. Yet in this point, with the big game against Sweden tomorrow, I mean, I don't know if he's even a little bit off if there's any point in going back out.
Olshev works in. He's sent flying.
Look how powerful he is. He keeps control of the puck again.
Bartikov works his way loose. Beachcom comes off the bench. Grosjean a shot deflected down in, and Brander makes the stop. Sanov got bumped there by Boom. Mario down to Bartikov. That's swept wide. Chofin tries to move it out and does, as Kuznetsov poked that away from Bohm. 6 to go in the third period. 5-1, Russia leads. Kuznetsov for Bramo. Walks it and shoots. And Brander got a piece of that. Puck punters down in the corner. A long shot by Beachcom, kicked up by Brander. Pauschenwein moves it ahead. Tyrick with a shot that deflected wide as Beachcom got in the way. On the boards, Gritsuk to the line, but not out. Now Gritsuk goes rink wide for Afanasiev. Afanasiev gets a step, works in the corner with it now. Russians changing. That's a Sani stepped into Grosjean there, and now it's brought back the other way by Lindner. Here's Lindner. Spins back in the corner. Here's Rossi on it, Marco Rossi. Chris crossing with Peters, who has the Austrian goal. Inside 5 to go now in the third period. I'm going to ask you the trivia question anyway, Ray. It's that good.
You've been talking about this. I'm not even kidding. You've been talking about this since lunch today.
Which Austrian soccer star was signed as a free agent by the Dallas Cowboys, the kicker, spent 15 years in the NFL, and won a Super Bowl with Dallas in 1972. He was the first European soccer player signed as a kicker.
See, the guy I'm thinking of is not in Dallas.
Well, he played for a lot of other teams.
No, but Jan Stenerud?
Tony Fritsch. The Cowboys went over to Austria. He'd never seen a game from the NFL. He was the first player they looked at. They set him as a place kicker, and he won the Super Bowl. Led the NFL in scoring 3 times.
So that was in the early 70s?
Yeah. That's when soccer-style kickers were coming into vogue. The Cowboys thought, well, let's get a soccer guy. Here's a chance now for Todd Colson, who's back out there for the Russians. But Colson moves out, and has moved off the puck.
So that was after Daryl Yepremian had made his ill-fated pass attempt in the 72 Super Bowl.
That was the same Super Bowl. I think, wasn't it? No, it was a year after.
No, a year after.
That's right. So yeah,
that's a good one. That's one of your better ones.
Thanks.
Now I do remember not that long ago the San Diego Chargers signed an Aussie rule football kicker, Darren Bennett, as their punter. And his first punt, he launched it down the field and then ran up and made the tackle. And they're like, you can't do that. We don't have another punter. he was just playing the game he knew.
That's a set. He lost the puck to Panamariov. Panamariov moves in. Muhammad Doolin jumps into the rush. It's banked out by Netsasani. Ritsa in for Abramov. Abramov moves it back in front. Great chance for Afanasiev. Turned away. Now Abramov with a chance. Another good stop by Brander. He's been good tonight. Abramov walks in, fires the goal post. Rebound, score, Afanasiev. Only so much he can do.
Yeah, you bet. Afanasiev Afanasyev has been an impressive player. That's his first goal of the tournament, but he's a powerful skater. Nashville's second-round pick in 2019. Oh, bunted out of midair. We've seen Philip Tomasino score for Canada. He was Nashville's first this year. You can see how interesting it is to put these pieces together a little bit. If you've got a second-rounder and Afanasyev, you've got Tomasino, and all of a sudden Nashville's got a couple of forwards on the horizon.
And a goalie, too, in Askarov. They picked in the first round this year. He's not playing tonight.
We will see him tomorrow night.
Looking forward to Russia-Sweden.
I think it's be a terrific game.
Kanayev swings back with it. Bashkirov lets it back down. Now Bashkirov back with it. Moves in the corner, drops it back. Spiridonov. And that long shot by Kirsanov is stopped by Brandner.
For 4 years, teams have done amazing things to raise the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup. But this year, ideas triumph. What would you do with $100,000 for your community?
There's Afanasyev, the 19-year-old, is 6'3", 203 pounds already.
Played some minor hockey in the Detroit area. And another shot off the pipe and in. This time from Gritsuk.
So this line with a couple of late goals. .45 seconds apart as Gritsuk gets his first of the tournament. Face-off win, and Gritsuk is going to help with it. Wow, that's a rocket too. Afanasyev puts his right on the tee for him, and he hammers this. Posting in.
In Russia, there is the KHL. Then their second league, their version of the American League, is the VHL. Their junior league is the MHL. Well, Gritsuk has played in all three this year. Volkegger. Long shooting glove by Akyemov.
Well, Russia was hoping for a little offense, and yeah, some of it came late here, but they've got 7. They get 4 in the first and 3 in the second. A bunch of guys will be feeling a lot better about themselves. And
Shishchikov banks it down to the Russian zone, or to the Austrian zone, rather. And now turned over. Panomari on the backhand shot, Brandner the stop, and it's picked up by Toller. Hardekov drops it back to Groshev. Panomari tried to center it. Groshev, his shot trickled down. Panomari to Kanayev. Panomari shoots. That was blocked. Kirsanov spins it back to Kanayev. He chops at it and picked up by Paul. Whipped high in the air over the reach of Leon rushing, Leon Volner. Spiridonov comes in. Beachcroft, a long shot off the outside of the net. Spiridonov. Bashkirov teed that up and missed. And the Austrians clear it out. And Russia runs its record to 2-1 in this World Junior Championship with a 7-1 win. Austria falls to 0-3. The Austrians will close out against the Czechs on Thursday. The Russians close out the preliminary round against Sweden tomorrow night.
This game ends up pretty much the way we felt it would, but a pretty good effort by Austria today. Good goaltending again for them, kept the game close at times, but Russia just too much. The key for Russia, in my mind, is Vasily Podkolzin gets untracked with a 3-point performance. That line with Huznadinov and Amirov get 4 of the goals.
And now we'll have the player of the game presentations and then the Russian national anthem.
Players of each team is presented by Explore Edmonton, the visitor economy and venue management organization for Edmonton. Each winner will be awarded with a custom wallet from local maker Close General Leather Company. Recipients will receive their award after they exit the ice. The best player of Team Austria est le numéro 23, number 23, Marco Rossi. The best player of Team Russia est le numéro 19, number 19, Vasily Podkolzin. Et maintenant, pour l'hymne national, for the national anthem of Team Russia.
The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Esso. The Esso brand has fueled Canada's love of hockey for over 80 years. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. By TELUS, helping build stronger communities on and off the ice. When we give back together, we're all connected for good. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Team Canada. The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Find new reasons to cheer. Find new roads.
And so the Russians do exactly what they were supposed to do, what we expected them to do. But good on Austria to get their first goal of the tournament. 7-1 the final for the Russians. And the amazing thing about Russia, they lose that game to the Czechs, the only real upset of this tournament so far. But Russia plays Sweden tomorrow night. And if the Russians win, they win Group B. And so that upset won't matter whatsoever. If Sweden wins, then Group B will come down to the Sweden-USA game on New Year's Eve. Over in Group A, Canada on top at 3-0. Finland has had 2 straight days off. They'll play the last 2 days of the tournament against Slovakia and then against Canada on New Year's Eve. If the Finns take care of the Slovaks tomorrow night, it will be Canada-Finland in the showdown we expected for first place in Group A. So 2 days left in group play here at the World Juniors. 6 games left. And this is the triple header we have for you tomorrow. Finland, Slovakia, of relevance, of course, to Canada. Switzerland and Germany is a fascinating game because it will decide who gets into the quarterfinals in Group A. And Russia and Sweden, I talked about the implications of that one. That should be a dandy tomorrow night in prime time here from the World Juniors. Canada will get the day off tomorrow and then come back against Finland on New Year's Eve. Same time, 5:30 Eastern for the pregame. The drop of the puck a little after 6 o'clock Eastern time here on TSN to end 2020. Finally. 3 lopsided games today at the World Juniors. The Americans dominate in the morning, Canada dominates in the afternoon, and the Russians dominate tonight. 7-1 over Austria. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. We'll be right back here tomorrow for 3 more games from the bubble in Edmonton on the World Juniors on TSN.
Come on in, folks. This is SportsCenter. She is Kayla. I am Kelsey. And Kayla, let's start with the World Juniors. After 16-2 and 3-1 wins, Canada hoping to strike that happy medium in their game against the Swiss before heading into that New Year's Eve showdown against the Finns.
You think back to game 1, no coach wants to see their team kind of completely demolish a group. Not much to learn from. Game 2, there was stuff to build off of. So, you know, for game 3, they were hoping to turn things around against Switzerland. The Canadians lead the all-time head-to-head in this one, 23-0. The Swiss have just 1 point in those games, and that being a shootout loss in 2016. Under 2 minutes into this thing. Good forecheck here by Quinton Byfield. He helps force the turnover, and then he's going to find Philip Tomasino sneaking off the bench. Tomasino's 4th goal in under 20 minutes of ice time in the tournament. This shift, an efficient 7 seconds. 1-0 Canada after 1. Second period, Canada on the power play. 0 for 3 in the game to this point. Dylan Cousins, great tip, and he's going to jam it home. Cousins had a 6-point game in the opener against Germany. It's 2-0 Canada. Let's get physical. We got physicality here. Dylan Holloway missed last game with an upper body injury. Looked no worse for it. He looked very okay, actually, as he lays out Simon Knock. Then it's Dawson Mercer, who just crunches Elvis Schlapfer in the neutral zone. Mercer, one of 6 returning players from last year's gold medal team. Now 4-0. Canada out shooting the Swiss 29-6 at this point. Noah Pateno, Rob Zarian tight. Wow. Yep. Patino, a member of the St. John Sea Dogs in the queue. Pepper with 52 shots in this one. No chance for Patino here, though. Cousins forces a turnover. And then he's going to tee up Connor McMichael. Cousins' 2nd point of the game. He leads Team Canada with 9 points in the tournament. They lead 5-0 through 2. To the 3rd, Byfield. Already 3 assists in this game. Still looking for his first World Junior goal. Deflects to Jamie Drysdale's point shot. Byfield, the youngest player on Canada's roster for the 2nd straight year, had just an assist at last year's event. His first goal makes it 6-0 Canada. Under 3 minutes later, Canada forces the turnover here. Jack Quinn gonna hook up with who's hot, Byfield. 5th point of the game for this year's 2nd overall pick, and he was not done there. Now 9-0, Byfield. Leaves for Peltier, and he scores. Byfield didn't play a single minute in the gold medal game last year, but here, he goes off. 6 points. Canada wins big to improve to 3-0. 10-0, the final.
Definitely helps quite a bit. Haven't scored a World Juniors goal, so that's definitely in the back of my mind. Just getting the relief, finally scoring off that play. Definitely released some pressure, but I still just played the same way and just got the bounce today, and everything was just going my way.
The way he made his points, he made his point by playing like a big man. He went to the net, get rebound, put pucks on net. We got a few rebound on those. Yeah, he kept his game simple and got a reward. So I'm glad for him. He impressed me since the start of camp, and I said that many times. His focus, his attention to detail, his desire to get better every day. That's what you want from a player, and it's a side of Q I did not know.
All right, so this is the 3rd World Juniors tournament that Canada has scored 10 or more goals in multiple games. Now, they've also improved to a perfect 24-0 record against Switzerland. How about Quinton Byfield and Dylan Cousins? They become the 3rd pair of teammates to have a 6-point games for Canada in the same World Junior tournament. With more, let's say hello to James Duthie.
Thank you with Bob McKenzie and Craig Button. 1 year ago, Quinton Byfield was the youngest player on Team Canada, and it showed. He ended as the 13th forward, did not play a single shift in the gold medal game. This year, he's still the youngest player on Team Canada and no longer the forgotten man. In fact, an absolute force in this game. Is this the moment, Bob, where Canada goes, Oh, that's why he was picked second overall by the Kings.
I suppose so. I mean, if this is the reinforcement that you need, that he was the second or the third best player in the draft, I guess, well, so be it. But I think most people probably understood that. But this just reinforces that. And you know what? And as much as it was the 2 goals and 6 points, and hey, let's be honest about that. What a towering performance that was. It was everything. It was the face-offs. It was the physical play. It was, just being defensively aware of what was going on. But to have that offensive outburst in the fashion that he did, and to get a great power play goal in the third on the tip on Drysdale's shot, to have some of the assists that he had, just a terrific performance by Quinton Byfield. He's been a guy that everybody's been talking about because he started off very slow in the camp. Had some issues where he wasn't even on the ice at the beginning. He was a little bit held back for a day or two because of some of the travel regulations and protocols in place. And then once they started having red-white games, the word got out, well, he's off to a really slow start. And suddenly people were saying, I don't know what's wrong with Byfield. And then this tournament starts, and suddenly people are looking at him and saying, well, I don't like the way he played the first 2 games. This game will silence all of that. It's just 1 game, but nevertheless, it was quite an impressive performance any way you slice it.
Bob, I was in Red Deer when Quinton Byfield showed up. He was 2 days behind everybody. And keep this in mind, since he played last March, he worked out in the off-season, put on 13, 14 pounds, and now you come back and you got to get accustomed to carrying that weight and moving with that weight. And then you start 2 days behind everybody else. Yeah, you're going to be a little bit sluggish. But does it impact his potential and his talent? No. You could see that over time he was getting quicker and more assertive, and with it, getting more opportunities. Well, those opportunities he made good on against Switzerland, and he was a dominant force. He's looking more comfortable. He's not forcing things. He's always going to be a determined competitor, but it seems it's all coming together right at the perfect time for Team Canada and Quinton Byfield.
And he truly had been overshadowed by Tim Stützle so far at this tournament, who's been so good for Germany and was picked 1 spot after Byfield, but certainly not on this day. 2 of Quinton's 5 points come on the power play, a power play that had struggled against Slovakia and early in this one. How did they fix it?
Well, they fixed it by being quicker with the puck, more aggressive at the net. In the first period, they were pedestrian. They were slow moving the puck, and when you're slow moving the puck, you play right into the opponent's penalty killing because they can get in the lanes and you don't put them under duress. And that's where Canada was clearly not having success in the first period. They get to the second period, and they were much, much better, much crisper, much quicker with everything they were doing. And that power play with all the skill, and we talked about it at the outset, James, the skill will give you the thrills. It's the will that gives you the power in the power play, and they went to work and were outstanding after that first period on the power play where it wasn't very good.
And one of the developments we saw in the power play was that Jamie Drysdale did get on the second power play and was obviously a factor getting those shots through from the blue line. Thomas Harley came off the blue line. Drysdale was inserted. We'll see if it stays that way the rest of the way, but Drysdale certainly is a catalyst on that power play as well.
It's tough for Team Canada in these games because fans tend to judge them on how they win. The first game against Germany, well, maybe they scored too many goals. And then against Slovakia, well, they didn't score enough goals. Maybe this one, finally, the most complete effort was just right, and they improved to 3-0.
Well, with their 9 points and that victory, James, Canada moves ahead of Finland atop the Group A. The Finns have 2 games remaining, beginning with Wednesday against Slovakia. And if Finland beats the Slovaks, that is going to set up a winner-take-all for top spot in Group A on New Year's Eve between Canada and Finland.
Now over in Group B is where we find many of Canada's more well-known foes, the Russians, Swedes, and Americans. The Swedes stretched their prelims win streak to 54 games on Monday, but their 2 toughest tests remain, with both the Russians and Americans looking to pick up steam ahead of those group-deciding games as this tournament progresses this week. It is USA-Czech Republic. Nerve-wracking moment during the warm-up as Spencer Knight gets taken out by teammate Drew Hellison. Fortunately, he would be okay, and it didn't prove to be a bad omen for this game because it was all USA, led by Trevor Zegras. Up 1-0 in the second. Zegras dancing in the offensive zone before dishing it off, and he gets rewarded with a one-timer, an open cage, as easy as it gets. The Ducks' 9th overall pick in 2019, already with his 4th, and he was just getting started. Third period, Zegras once again patiently waiting all alone. Backdoor, And again, he gets rewarded. This time he decides, I'm going to put this one upstairs just for fun. Zegras' tournament-leading 5th goal at that point, catching the eye of 2016 World Junior standout Austin Matthews, who tweeted his praise, which made its way back to Zegras.
I mean, that's pretty cool, obviously. I know a bunch of guys in our locker room look up to him, and obviously what he's done for USA Hockey. So, I mean, that's definitely pretty cool. Something probably I'll remember for a while.
Zegras, though, proving that he can do more than just score goals. Midway through the frame, he springs Habs' first-round pick, Cole Caulfield, who goes 5-hole for his first of the tournament. Just a minute later, now up a man, it's Caulfield to Zegras to Matthew Boldy down low, and he goes tweener from basically the goal line to pull it back. 7-0 for the Americans. Zegras finished with 5 points in this one. USA win big time, 7-0 the final.
All right, let's go Austria, Russia. Rodion Amirov of Leafs first-round pick and Vasily Podkolzin, first-rounder of the Canucks, both yet to score in the tournament. First period, Yegor Chinnikov taken down on a breakaway. Chinnikov is awarded a penalty shot, but he is hurt. So Amirov is called on to take it, and he scores. That's his first goal of the World Juniors. Shortly after, Podkolzin given tons of room, and he snipes it top shelf. Just like Amirov, he picks off his first tally of the tournament. Still in the opening frame, Amirov wins a puck battle. Moments later, Podkolzin slides home his second of the night. The Canucks and Leafs prospects combined for 5 points in the period. Russians cruising this one 7-1. All right, so with their wins, the United States and Russia pull even with Sweden with 6 points at the top of Group B. The Swedes, however, have played one fewer game than the other two nations, and that's Sweden game is going to end the preliminary round with a back-to-back starting on Wednesday when they take on the Russians. That will be followed by a date with the Americans on New Year's Eve.
This tournament report was brought to you by Napa Auto Parts.